Coming out of Agua Dulce on the Pacific Crest Trail in 2014, the Andersons was another trail angel haven within a day's walk. But after spending 2 nights at the Softleys, I decided I would skip the Andersons and make whatever progress I could into the next section. Unfortunately, I didn't pay as much attention to signs as I should have, and my atypical decision to skip the Andersons meant I had no contact with people who might have warned me of what was ahead.
It's kind of crappy out, but I mean it's great for hiking. Get to the top of this crest right as thunder starts striking on the one right over from me. And the trail, of course, wants to go just straight. Okay. Well, thankfully, the PCT is in a much more reasonable spot now. And of course, now I'm going back out onto the exposed side of the hill. Even as I stand in the sun, there's the intimidating storm over there, which I really hope is blowing more east-west than north-south. The trail is at least headed in the proper direction. So it looks like the storm is pretty much coming overhead, so I'm changing into my rain clothes real quick, but man, the trail is still pretty exposed. So I might just hunker down right here for a while. We'll see. Okay, really sort of feels like I shouldn't be here. This is the powerhouse fire, I believe. I'm hoping very much that gray clouds aren't further thunder. Just a couple miles and I'll be at the next road. And I do hope that I am actually supposed to be here, because there was a thing about the powerhouse fire closure at the last place, but I didn't see anything on my maps at all. Nothing on the half-mile app, nothing. It just says I'm on the PCT, so I think I am in the right place, but whew, this sure is interesting and beautiful. Seriously, the most precarious thing I've done so far, I would say. Yeah, I really just get the feeling I'm not supposed to be here. I really hope I didn't just walk through an illegal burn area. I suppose we'll see at this road if there's a big sign saying do not enter or something. But man, I needed to get off that ridge in case another storm came through. First 30-mile day. I do believe so. So it turns out that was a closed burn area, and I wasn't supposed to be there. I got to this road. I see on Google Maps that it intersects with Pine Canyon Road, which it looks like is where the water report updates pick back up. So I'm going to walk to that road. I don't even know which way to go on it when I get there. I'm going to figure that out. Boy. Well, got to this road. Need to find my way back to the PCT. That was a day. Usually it feels like forever ago when it's the day before, but today, this morning, feels like forever ago. It's about 34 miles. Ended up in a thunderstorm on the ridge. Walked through the burn area by accident. Came out to the road. Walked back to this inn and bar, which is pretty amazing to end up here after all that. Had a Lagunitas IPA and a Waddingtons and a coconut chocolate pie and a shower. Well, here is the historic rock inn where I slept like a rock after my 33.5 mile day and adventure. 13 miles of road walking. Thankfully it's got dirt. Listen to some Nirvana and Radiohead. Ease up the monotony. Yeah, after yesterday, Perfect Body's a long way off. Here we are in Hiker Town. A rather interesting little place. Put together Trail Angel. Here's my $10 room. No electricity. Bed. And couch. And pasta. And today I'm hoping to just do a nice, clean, even 23 or 25 or so. 23 should be just fine.
The PCT's original intended route through this area was much further west, which would have led up through the Tehachapi Mountains, but it went through a massive plot of private land, so instead, the PCT cuts straight north along a road through the middle of Antelope Valley, part of the Mojave Desert, and follows the Los Angeles Aqueduct. Crossing Antelope Valley takes you from the native lands of the Tataviam and the Yuhaviatam into those of the Kitanemuk. The Kitanemuk had permanent winter villages that split into smaller groups to gather and hunt across the varied foothills and mountains nearby. Some of the small remaining diaspora became part of the Tejon Indian tribe of California, joining their indigenous neighbors to the west. The Tejon Indian tribe of California only regained federal recognition in 2012, 2 years before I was out walking the PCT, and after countless damages wrought by the United States government.
Back on the Pacific Crest Trail instead of the Pacific Crest Road Walk. Came all the way across that giant valley. Good to be back on the trail. It's part of how a day turns out is usually how it ends. You just get caught up so often in walking and moving and living and thinking. You shouldn't have to endlessly kill off that part of yourself that just wants to look at things and be amazed at what you see. You know, here's a rock. Right? Yeah, I haven't been riding very much, but I know there's mainly one thing I need to know. I just remember to look, and I'll have a lot to draw from, to do a lot. Just look.
Which simply means people, lived in the Tehachapi Valley and northwards on lands which the PCT crosses up through Walker Pass. The Nua and the Paiutes created famous rock art and petroglyphs. The Nua also worked with the Kitanemuk to the south to hunt antelope in big drives. Many of the Nua today live near Kern County in California, where the city Bakersfield is located.
I'd call that the first meadow of the trip.
Coming back up out of the Antelope Valley, the PCT takes you through the Alta Wind Energy Center, which as of 2013 was the largest wind farm on the planet. Hiking past the turbines was interesting at first, but just when you think you've seen the last of them, more appear over the next ridge, and it starts to get a little tiring. The trail eventually crosses Willow Spring Road, where I hitchhiked into Tehachapi. Here we are in the glorious Best Western Mountain Inn in Tehachapi. Split this room with Pesky, and then Soshi and Angry Bird joined us. Amazing place for a zero. So today we're going to go to the post office. I'm going to get my resupply and head back out on the trail, but sleeping in a bed is pretty amazing. The movie theater in this town is $5, which is pretty incredible, and even more incredible than that, there are $1 hot dogs that you can buy there. And there's the final stretch of desert coming up ahead, which I'm very excited about. It's the last stretch before Kennedy Meadows. I think it's about 140 miles from here to Kennedy Meadows, and so that's going to be my biggest resupply, longest stretch of food carrying. Still very excited to be here and not be having too many problems, and get on my way for the final stretch of desert. Alright, hermanos, back on the trail. Of course, one never really knows what it is. It changes all the time. I might end up in some very non-deserty sections over the course of this 7 or 8 days. It'll definitely be the longest unbroken section so far of just being on the trail. Definitely in the land of La Mancha. Train coming by in this valley is making a really cool sound combined with the windmills. It's sort of easy to just get hypnotized. Well, the trail took a turn for the quite hospitable. It's following a dirt road along which there is basically infinite camping. And now I've got the moment I've waited for, where I can see off to the north. Looks like I will be skirting the desert along these mountains. The section from Tehachapi to Kennedy Meadows was one of my favorite parts of the first 750 miles of the trail. Not only because of a bubbling anticipation for the Sierras, but also because it offered vistas and challenges that made it feel truly worthy of the term desert. Before those, however, there was a day that unfolded like a long wander into mystery.
Beautiful sunrise this morning. Waking up on days like this with everything to look forward to in the day. This is the beginning of a day that lasts longer than a day. I can speak in sometimes, but not in the morning. My brain is addled by the incommunicable beauty of circumstance. Infinity is here. It's just a jug of water and a let's do this barrel, but that was some very welcome trail magic. I'm really happy with how my legs seem to handle these long days. I stopped to take a piss and just about pissed on this guy. Oh, sleepy little snake. Looks like I'll have some ups and downs in the little valley up ahead. 20 miles from Sequoia National Forest, 4.6 from the next possible cache. Desert ain't quite over yet. It's some emptiness right there. Might be the driest section of the trail. 40 miles, 42 I think, and the only water is caches. It is bad when there's no breeze, but there's oftentimes a breeze. Hiking in the prime heat of the day. Oh, it's just kicking my ass after 31 or whatever the hell yesterday was. Still, it's pretty epic little desert section, that's for sure. Gosh, this stretch is pretty brutal. Getting some right knee soreness, and there's a long way to Kennedy Meadows. I've got to at least do another mile or two tonight to get to the next reasonable spot to camp. Need water. It's the very end of the day. I feel like I'm walking into heaven just about right now.
This desolate stretch of trail was a dramatic stage for the sand, light, and varied vegetation that makes up the soul of the Southern Californian section of the PCT.
My tent did pretty well last night in the wind. I seem to have gotten some good rest for my leg. On to the fourth day of the final desert stretch. See how I feel. See if this water cache exists. Final moments of anticipation here. Will these bottles have water in them? Okay, good. There's some. Not much. Wow. There might only be that one. Jeez. I have a feeling I'm not the only one who missed the turnoff to Willow Spring. In fact, that's probably why the 60-gallon cache is almost empty, whereas the 25 still had several left. It's a pretty formidable section here. You really got to go to that Willow Spring. Getting some pretty great trail luck this morning, and it's the one part of this whole desert that's still in the shade, I think. You go along middling for a while, enjoying yourself, and then something goes wrong, and you start thinking, oh, gosh, I hope this isn't the end. And then when you wake up the next morning and you feel good, gorgeous hiking conditions, your legs feel just fine. Yeah, it has that rubber band effect where you go from the lowest lows to the highest highs. After the stunning misery of yesterday, to turn the corner and see this is pretty amazing. Trees! Trees, Gandalf! I want to see trees! Believe it or not, I think I just caught my first glimpse of the Sierras. Just over that ridge I saw mountains, maybe definitely looked like about 100 miles away, and they had snow. I'm gonna have some more dry stuff to go up probably in the morning, but not bad for today. Should be about a mile or less from Walker Pass campground. I have approximately one sip of water left. It's hard to believe, but I just had pancakes with peanut butter and syrup. All thanks to Yogi and Oki and Coppertone here at the Walker Pass campground. Absolutely amazing trail magic. I even cleaned off in the cistern. It's Highway 178. And I am headed up and up into the desert light. Landscape is just a word, so is details. Systems described by science intersect and overlap and meet up, and tangle. Many small things meeting up and intersecting. Many small things overlapping, interacting, blurring together, standing defiantly apart. You're on one side and it's all dry, red, and windy. You get to the other side of the hill and it's green, cool. The wind is just a faint breeze. So this is why I walked 28 miles. No. Good to know. Got to the Chimney Creek. There's a sign, Chimney Creek Campground, 0.2 miles down this road. And somebody said that there might be trail magic at that campground. Was there trail magic at the end of the road? I'll let you be the judge. So it's my final day to Kennedy Meadows. Rocketed up 5 or 6 miles on 2.5 cups of orange juice and 1 cup of coffee. 2 amazing trail magics on the last 2 nights of a section. The worst, hardest, driest, most relentless section I've certainly ever done. Doesn't get much better timing than that. And the second trail angel last night, they were only there for a day, for last night. Pretty amazing. We've got a Budweiser and a Sunkist, and half of a blueberry muffin and some cheese.
Caffeine.
Melting trekking pole dye into my hands. Rebuilding the mossy rock in my heart. Cat holes, snot rockets, eye boogers, farts. I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. You spoke enough to understand the power that's inside.
The PCT meets up with the South Fork Kern River after many miles through dry, exposed terrain, so it's a powerful and welcome sight. The Kern River Valley is the home of the native Tabatulabal tribe. 3 bands are grouped under the same name. Tabat is the Yokut name for pinon pine nuts, so the full name roughly means the people who go to the forest for pinon nuts. The Pakanapul band of the Tabatulabal territory was not just the South Fork Kern, but also many other places the PCT touches, from Walker Pass to the southern slope of Mount Whitney. Today, the Tabatulabal honor their history with annual memorials and dances, hunting, and of course by gathering pinon pine nuts, acorns, and saltgrass.
South Fork Kern. Almost there. This might be some little southern outpost of Kennedy Meadows. Damn it, I guess I'm not quite there. Beer, shower, food, ice cream, shower. Trail does not sign very well, but here we go. I can do that. Thank you. Ah, hey. Awesome.